that 82% of all homeowners can't tell you the name of their realtor if they bought their home more than 2 years ago.
Wow.
82% don't remember the realtor's name. That's catastrophic right there, in a sense, because if you just are simply remembered and you get remembered, people remember you because they know that you care and you're reaching out to them. You're touching them. 74% of all people who used a realtor were happy with their experience. You know how many came back to use the same realtor the next time they needed one?
Right.
Less than 10% used the same one. So basically 3/4 of the people who used a realtor for a transaction, the next time they needed one, it was less than 10%. And I'll give you an example.
These are real buyers that will show up. We write letters for those. We're very specific in the letters that we write. So let's say it's Nick Baldwin. I'm going to write up the letter and it's going to say, hey, Mr. Seller, I've got a husband and a wife, Nick and Ann, and they're looking for this single family residence. It's in your neighborhood.
Welcome, everybody. So first off, in the chat group, if you can tell us where you're from, we would totally appreciate it. I'm from Fremont, and I would love to introduce you to my friend and the CEO of AM Cards, Appreciation Marketing, right? And the author of Appreciation Marketing, Curtis Lewsey. How do I say your last name, Curtis?
Lewsey, you got it. Exactly.
Okay, I'm like, oh my God, did I mess up? Please tell us in the group chat, again, where you're from, city and state. Would love to know more about you. But I want to, like I said, introduce Curtis to you. AM Cards, I love it. I personally use it. I'll tell you my stories later. But Curtis, welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for having us. And I mean, I always welcome these opportunities and appreciate them. And today, the number one thing we're going to talk about is how to mine your contacts into contracts. Yeah. See, there's gold that lies in our database. And sometimes we just need some tools and systems to be able to help mine that gold. Because as agents, as business leaders, we're spinning a lot of plates, aren't we? So there's always something that we can do. And often things that we're going to talk about today fall through the cracks. And when these things fall through the cracks, it could mean multiple deals per month that we're missing out on down the road. And so too many people are focusing on the here and now, like, what am I doing this week, this month, this quarter, which there's nothing wrong with that. Focus on expireds and FSBOs and focusing on your next lead or open houses. There's nothing wrong with all of that. Is wonderful. If you're looking to build a career in real estate, or you want to make sure that you're future-proofing your business, you want to make sure that your database remembers you and knows you care. Because see, those are the top two reasons why somebody's going to come back to do business again or refer you business. And we talk a lot about that in the book that I wrote called Appreciation Marketing, How to Achieve Greatness Through Gratitude. And what I'd like to do is, if there's anybody that would like to just type in the comments, appreciationmarketing.com/audiobook. appreciationmarketing.com/audiobook. You can have the audiobook for free. It's a free download. You can listen to it. So it's my gift to everybody that's hopping on now. Thank you very much, Stacy, for putting that in there. I really appreciate that. So I want to dive into this and get to the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about. And then I will share with you a system that I put together. Like, I realized after doing a lot of keynotes around the country and around the world, talking about appreciation and gratitude marketing, it seems like common sense. It's not common practice. And if you want to stand out in your market, a huge competitive advantage is saying thank you.
Thank you. Exactly.
It's a monster advantage. I mean,
Let me start by saying thank you, Curtis, because of AM Cards, we had 3 or 4 transactions that we closed on a couple of months ago, because we constantly stayed in touch with our clients through sending them a thank you note, through sending them just something, hey, we appreciate you calling us back, or we appreciate you, let's go out on coffee. I love it because it's just at a snap of a button, and I love it. And by the way, you guys, I know that the chat was not open when I said welcome everyone. and tell us city and state you're from. We would really appreciate it. And we are here with Curtis Lewsey from AM Cards. Appreciation marketing. I love the talk.
Appreciation marketing. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And we are going to dive into this. And I want to share with you this too. You're going to get a lot of value out of this, whether you use my service or not. That's the whole point. I want to really share with you how there's different ways to approach what I'm going to talk about here. When I get towards the end, I will share with you AM cards, and I'll go over that briefly and show you how there's some systems, the systems that you can put together with automation, because oftentimes things are not getting done if there's not certain things that are automated, which is super important in business and in life. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I want to go over a couple of things. And here we go. So mining your contacts into contracts. Love that. In 3 simple steps. And here's the 3 simple steps. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper, I highly recommend that you write down some notes, and you're welcome to interject at any time. Just kind of put up your hand. I get going. And if there's something, please.
This is where we need to focus in and really learn. That's what LCA is all about, right? Learning and growing from that. So go.
That's what I want to do right now. So to start off, I want to share this quote. There's never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do what's most important. And right now, you're making it important to be on this webinar right now, or whether you're watching the replay on YouTube or on Facebook, you're taking the time to actually watch this. I want to congratulate you for taking the time. It's one thing that you can't get back, right? And so obviously you're investing into your database, you're investing into the relationships in your business, because one of the things that we talk about is that the best investment we can make is in relationships, because relationships are the real currency.
Yes.
When you take it all back, there's people that lose everything and they can build it all up back faster because they have contacts. They've done the right thing consistently over a period of time. People like them, trust them, they remember them, they know that they care. All integral pieces of building a successful real estate business, or any business for that matter. So here's one of the things to see. You generate leads by what you do. See, Janki, you have an amazing business with it's called Leverage, correct?
Yes. So we have, it's Leverage, basically. It's our Facebook group. It's Janki's Training Academy, but that is Leverage, yes.
Janki Training Academy. I highly recommend that you go into that group, because they will teach you how to leverage like ISAs and to be able to generate leads and to be able to do all that stuff. Now, once you use her system to be able to bring all these people into your database, how do you turn these strangers into friends and friends into lifelong referring clients, you know? And so you generate leads by what you do. Making phone calls, circle prospecting, calling off-market deals, all these different things, FSBOs, expireds. However, you earn referrals by who you are and how you show up in people's lives. I'm going to say that again. You generate leads by what you do. You're a realtor. You're a real estate agent. You sell real estate. You can get leads that way. Oh, you should talk to Sarah. She's an agent. You don't want to be the agent. You want to be my agent. Right. So what can you do so that the people in your database are saying, hey, it's John. You got to talk to John, my agent, my realtor. That is a whole different level. See, that is because you're showing up in their lives differently. You earn referrals by who you are and how you show up in people's lives. So that is super important right then and there. Hold on just one second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I loved how he said, you know, guys, it's about building relationships, and it's about how you talk to people, and it's about how you show up. Like what you say, you want to be the it person, right? You want to be the realtor that people are looking for, the people want to know, want to build relationships. So when they think about real estate, they think of you, right?
Thank you for taking that away. My wife needed the keys and she's leaving the office. So I had to run over. So here's a couple statistics that is from NAR, from National Association of Realtors, that 82% of all homeowners can't tell you the name of their realtor if they bought their home more than 2 years ago.
Wow.
82% don't remember the realtor's name. That's catastrophic right there, you know, in a sense, because if you just are simply remembered, and people remember you because they know that you care, and you're reaching out to them. You're touching them. 74% of all people who used a realtor were happy with their experience. You know how many came back to use the same realtor the next time they needed one?
Right.
Less than 10%. use the same one. So basically 3/4 of the people who used a realtor for a transaction, the next time they needed one, it was less than 10%. And I'll give you an example. So I needed a small office space 3.5 years ago. Okay, so I was transitioning from having another company print my cards to me getting all of my machinery in-house. So I got a small little 1,200 square foot lease, 3-year lease. It wasn't a big deal for a commercial realtor. But I will tell you, I told them, I was like, if I hit my numbers, I'm going to be out of this place in a year or two. And so I'm going to need help to sublease it. And I'm going to be looking to potentially purchase in a year or two. Well, I reached out to him a couple of times. He just neglected to get back to me. He never responded on the anniversary of my lease. He never sent me a birthday card, or he never texted me, called me. I was never even in his CRM if he even had one. But let me tell you what ended up happening. I reached out to him and said, hey, can you send me some information on this, this, and this? Yeah. When I get back from vacation, I'll send it on over to you. Well, he came back, still didn't send it. And my next door neighbor's daughter happened to be a commercial real estate agent. So you know what? Somebody got in between the time that I spoke with him and somewhere else. I said, you know what? I really like my neighbor a lot. I don't know his daughter that well. However, if he's anything like him, I want to use her and her services. So anyway, I called her up. She helped me buy 14,000 square feet of commercial real estate.
Wow.
And then on top of that, just purchased a piece of land and a few months ago from the same family, the same commercial group. And now we're going to be building. And so like, it's all because he just didn't stay in touch.
Right.
And the number one reason why people not coming back to do business again or refer you is a fancy word called perceived indifference, which means they don't think that you actually care. So when you show that you care, you go to the top of the list. So let's talk about the fortune in the follow-up. Well, the real fortune in the follow-up lies after the sale. I'm going to say that again. People say the fortune's in the follow-up. Yes, the fortune is in the follow-up. I do think it's very important to follow up with your expireds, follow up with your leads, make sure that they don't fall through the cracks. All of that is important. I feel like the real fortune in the follow-up lies after the sale with repeat and referral business. People coming back to do business again, people referring their friends and family. You're creating raving fans all over the place. And we're going to talk about creating those raving fans today and making sure that you're mining those contacts, because there's deals that are being done one level away from you all over the place. Like you might know Sarah from work, but you don't know that Sarah knows Bob and Sally. Bob and Sally are having another baby and they need an extra bedroom. They're looking to buy a house. You're never going to talk to Bob and Sally because if they don't like you or trust you. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to make sure that saying, oh, you got to talk to even if they've never done a transaction, you want them saying, you got to at least have a conversation. That's what you want. You want the ability to have that conversation. So what you're going to do with your database is this. We call it a 3-step process for mining your contacts into contracts. Number one, you got to audit your database. We're going to talk about that. Then you got to plan it out and schedule it. Now, I told you before in the beginning of this, there's never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do what's most important. If 3 to 5 extra deals a month is important to you, and you're saying, I want to put that on the books for within the next year, the next 2-3 years, it is 100% possible. It's being done. And I got case study after case study of people using this system to be able to make that happen. And I'll go over a few of those. So here's what audit looks like. There's 3 different levels to your database, level 1, 2, and 3, or you can call it tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, if you'd like to. The top level, you know, the 80-20 rule that 80% of your business is probably going to come from 20% of your contacts. There's a good chance that when it comes to your database, it could be even higher than that, because there's a certain select few that could be coming back or sending you lots of referrals. Like Janki, you're telling me just recently about the investor, right?
Yep.
You've done 3 deals just last month.
Exactly. And it's all because of how we stayed in connection with them and built the relationship. Curtis, the main thing is to build the relationship. And that is in your follow-up, like you just said.
It is. And you know, there's a lot of people, when people say build the relationship, stronger relationship, there's a lot of like, it almost kind of seems fluff. Like, okay, what does that mean? Do I got to go there and like, you know, take off their shoes and rub their feet? Like, do I have to take them out to lunch every week? You know, there's so like people wonder, what do I need to do to build the relationship? Well, a lot of times it's just showing that you care. And I'm going to show you a lot of different ways that you can do that. Level 1 here's what level 1 looks like. This is your top 20. Now, this could be your top 20 people. It could be your top 20%. You decide what your top 20 exactly looks like, depending on how many years you've been in the business. But the people that have done multiple transactions with you, maybe they helped their kids buy a home with you. They bought a couple of homes. They bought an investment property with you. These same people are referring you friends and family members, or maybe, just maybe, it's somebody that's never did a transaction with you and they've sent you a bunch of business. Okay. So I'll give you an example. So I was working with this RE/MAX agent in the Washington, D.C. area. And I was going through a presentation similar to this, and I was talking about influencers in your life. There's influencers. And I'm not talking about an Instagram influencer that has millions of followers. That's great if they want to post in something like that. However, I'm talking about an influencer like an HR manager of a large company that does relocations. So there was a guy that this RE/MAX agent went to his BNI, Business Networking International. He stood up and asked for a referral, very specific. I'm looking for the HR manager of this company. Her name is this. She just got the job recently, and I found out through somebody. I would like an introduction. Lo and behold, somebody knew somebody who knew her. It wasn't a direct connection. It was somebody who knew somebody. So what he did was he lobbed in a card with a box of brownies, and he sent it to her through my system and said, congratulations on your new job. And I heard of your name because of so-and-so who knows so-and-so. I'm the local real estate professional here, and I would love to give you some knowledge and some education around the area. Would you like to meet for a cup of coffee or a cup of lunch, or a lunch on me? And I'd love to give you some information. Now, this is important to her, right? Because she's relocating people from other places. It's a huge company that does a lot of government contract work. People are going, people are going, people are coming to the area. Well, that box of brownies did lead to coffee, and that coffee led to a connection where he did get a couple of deals. All right. He did so well and had so much good positive feedback that came back to the company. He then, in short order, he was doing 10 deals a month. This is a company with thousands of employees, 10 deals a month, 10. And so do you think that that person would be in level 1? Yes. And now we're going to talk about what do we need to do to make sure that they stay at that level 1, and they making sure that you're the only realtor, you're the go-to person. There's not 3, there's only 1. And so level 2 would be past clients, referring people who refer you business. It could be an influencer that you want to even get closer to, maybe a church leader, or somebody that's maybe a probate attorney, or somebody different connections. HR managers are great. Public, profile type people that have lots of connections, and those types of influencers. Of course, your friends and family members as well. Don't get hung up on friends and family, because of course that could also disappoint you. Not all of them are going to do business. If somebody don't take it personally. I think it's a great opportunity to look yourself in the mirror and say, well, how am I showing up in their life?
Exactly.
Because I had a friend of mine, and I was a realtor a while back for a short period of time. And I'll share that story with you in a bit. But I had friends come over to the house. It's my wife's friends, and they sold their home, and they didn't use a family member who's a realtor. And I know the person. And so I asked, like, hey, and you know what? It was kind of interesting, because I just didn't want them knowing our financial situation. Well, little they know that the realtor doesn't have to know your financial situation. That has to do with the lender and the bank and all that kind of stuff. That, your financial statements don't roll through the realtor. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like all that could be part of an education type of thing, making sure friends and family.
Right. However, proof of funds might roll over that, right? So in certain states, we have to show proof of funds. That's what happened to me with a client, actually a family friend. And I told him, I don't need to see anything, and I told the lender the same thing. I don't want to be a part of that, because I don't want to make them feel any different, right? So, because again, they might think that you might gossip. There's a lot of that out there too. So you want to be careful.
And I've actually had somebody in the past when they went full time from being a paralegal into full time, they actually sent a card to their database, and they actually even highlighted that. They actually even mentioned a few things, misconceptions, myths that like, and they highlighted, almost like took that objection away. So what could that look like as far as business down the road when they say it? And in there, you basically stated something along the lines of this, which I thought was actually awesome. We had a chat about it. She came up with the verbiage, and I've been using it for the last 12 years. And it was something along the lines of, I want to thank you in advance for always thinking of me when it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Referrals mean the world to me. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Now that is very heartfelt. And I'll say that again, if I can remember it. It was just saying, I want to thank you in advance for always thinking about me when it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Referrals mean the world to me, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Those types of things right there as like almost like a PS line or at the bottom of it. And so those kind of cards are great to send to the database and announcement card. Hey, I just went full-time in real estate, and I have a broker that backs me that's been in the business for 25 years. And here's a few misconceptions of working with a new realtor, like, that kind of thing, where they could kind of just obliterate those kind of objections if that's what people are thinking. So I thought that was really kind of cool. So I'm talking about database because these are all your contacts, your past clients, your referring friends and family members, influencers. And then I would say level 3 is like your Facebook friends, people that you might have never met, or maybe you met briefly in your life, like at a seminar, or you met briefly, you don't really know them. You might follow them and see some of their posts and feel like you know them. Farming neighborhoods, like maybe your neighborhood, you wave to people, you're in a neighborhood place that they know you because they see your face on postcards or the neighborhood bulletin or whatever it may be. And then FSBOs and expireds who you want them to know you, and you want to open up those doors and open house guests. These are people that aren't necessarily going to receive a greeting card or a phone call from you. However, there are ways to connect with them to make sure that they see you as a person of influence. They see you as a leader in your space. So this is how you're going to audit it. And I'm telling you, grab your database. And some people do is they color code it. So if it's in a spreadsheet or if it's in a CRM, you can tag people, so level 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with this. So level 1, top 20, multiple transactions. These are the people that are like, oh, if my business went away and I only had these people right here to rely on, I know that I could pay all my bills and have a good business. Okay, that's really kind of, go ahead.
So Curtis, I have a question. When you said, I want to thank you in advance for always thinking of me, and that statement right there, that went to your entire database?
No, she sent it to 200 people. So she spent around $400 and she sent it as an announcement card because she left being a paralegal. She was there for many, many years. And most everybody knew her of that. It was 2 years after she left, she finally most people didn't even know she left. And it was so she put together a spreadsheet and she sent them all a card and she let them know. She announced basically that she's been full-time and that she was a realtor for 7 years. Last 2.5 years, she was been full-time, and she regrets if they haven't, she hasn't called them or whatever. And then she says, I'll be following up with a phone call before she even check this out. Before she even got a chance to grab the phone and start calling all these people to start conversations, what she really wanted to say was in the card.
Yeah, exactly.
People started texting and calling her. She had 7 transactions, by the way, that closed within 60 days.
Wow. And that's why I'm asking you, could this be something that we can send to our past clients as well?
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I like about the past clients, there's a lot of different things you can, and we're going to talk about that. One of the things you can talk is like maybe a testimonial of how you just help somebody land an investment property and put the terms in there. People love reading this kind of stuff. Why do people watch Flip This House on TV? Because they're looking at the money and they look at this and it's awesome. Well, if you put the numbers in here, hey, I just helped somebody close. They put 20% down on a $400,000 property, and it's a short-term rental, which means they're putting it on Airbnb. The average nightly rate is $120 a night. Their net income per month is this. people's eyes start bugging. You're going to get phone calls and like people like, hey, even if you want to go in, a family member or a friend, I can help you find one. Those types of things, people go nuts. And so it could just generate some leads within your database, you know, putting a testimonial like that.
Yeah, I think that is great tip that you just gave, you know, put up a testimonial saying, hey, we just helped X, Y, and Z family with a 20% down, like you just said. I think that could go to your, like, you know, when you send out, we just sold, like a sold card, when you send out a just sold in your database, you can actually add a little bit of data about what you just sold and
Phenomenal.
watch how that grows. That's awesome. Tip number
Yeah,
2.
we had 3 people come together, create an LLC and bought this property, you know, and their goal is to have 5 of them in the next 5 years and retire off of the net income, you know, whatever it may be. Like those types of stories are very powerful to generate more people thinking about, you know, what's possible.
Yeah.
And especially with right now, with everything that's going on. So, okay, now the plan. So we talked about audit, right? You're going to break apart your database. Do it. I'm telling you, do it. It might take you a couple hours, few hours, depending on your database. Now, the next is, what are we going to do with tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, level 1, 2, 3? What are we going to do with them? Well, there's different opportunities to connect with your database. Birthdays. Everybody has a birthday.
Right.
If you sold them a home, they have a home anniversary. Heck, if you didn't sell the home, but you listed the home, send the buyer a home anniversary because it guarantees their agent's not doing it.
Exactly.
Okay. So those types of things are super powerful. And what an awesome opportunity. Maybe send them a congratulations card after the closing. Because after the closing, you know, it's fair game, right? You can market to them. And then also holidays, market updates, testimonials, like I just talked to you about, testimonial letter. There's awesome opportunities that are happening all the time. And it could be maybe somebody at your brokerage or something you actually saw in LabCoatAgents. Hey, an associate of mine just did this. You can leverage other people's stories to your advantage. You know, you can use that, you know, say, hey, somebody at my brokerage just closed on this property and look at like what the numbers look like, or this person just moved a few miles out of town, sold their house and was able to cash in on 300,000 in equity, you know, like, so really cool things like that. And then I'm going to talk about life events, but a life events is something that you happen to see on Facebook or Instagram. Somebody has a baby, somebody's dog passed away, somebody ran a marathon. These are life events that you can recognize. It's not an automated piece, high impact, high value. We're going to touch on what that looks like too. So you got your plan, you got your different, and there's a lot more opportunities. I only just put a few there. Okay. You can put tons of other ones. And I say holidays, it could be Mother's Day. It could be Father's Day, July 4th, Thanksgiving. I like Thanksgiving because that's the time to show appreciation and gratitude. I like to skip the holidays and then go straight to New Year's because you can create a nice, like, inspirational message around the new year and some goals and stuff like that. And then, you know, if your plan is to own more real estate or whatever, I would love to have a conversation with you. So now here's your plan. Once you have that, what are you going to schedule? So you have tier 1, you have different opportunities. And what you might say, you know what, tier 1, I have somebody that's done multiple transactions with either an influencer. These are the types of people that I have to make sure that there's no other agents that's going to get in between the two of us. And don't take things for granted because it will happen. They will meet another realtor. Okay. And so maybe you want to schedule an in-person meeting and have lunch, a phone call on send a greeting card, text message, social media message, email. You have something?
So here's a question for you, Curtis. When you say birthdays and then in person, does that mean you're going in person to hand them something?
What I'm saying is invite them out for coffee, for lunch, for dinner, have a drink. This is like an in-person. Now, not everybody in your database you can do. There's only so many hours in the day. What I'm saying is if you take that top 20 and maybe even slice it into your top 5 or your top, like if you say, I'm going to do 20 lunches throughout the entire year out of 300, 250, 300 days that I'm going to work, is that really a lot? No, it's not. And so that's something that you might want to plan the month of their birthday, the week of their birthday, heck, even on their birthday. So we'll go over that in just a second, but here's what that might look like. So if we take level 1, top 20, we might say, I want to make sure that I celebrate their birthday. I want to make sure if I've sold them a home in the past, they're going to get a home anniversary card for me. Those are great opportunities to be able to stay in touch. And they're going to make sure they're going to get a holiday card from me. And I'm going to do Thanksgiving because that's the time to show appreciation and gratitude. And when you're sending these types of cards, just make sure that there's no ulterior motive. Do not, and I stress, do not in your card say, P.S. the greatest compliment in the world is a warm referral. Oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for your referral. It negates the appreciation and gratitude message.
Exactly. Make it about them. Make it about that particular event.
Yes.
Don't talk about real estate right now. Just mum it. That's what I would
And
say.
there's times and a place to ask for the business. And I truly believe that, like, when you're sending out a testimonial letter or a card, to your database, or writing up an email newsletter, and you're writing up something about a testimonial, something that's happened, there's nothing wrong within there saying, I just want to thank you in advance for always thinking about us. Referrals mean the world to us, so something like that. Now, when you go into your top 20, people have done multiple transactions, people referred you business. That's where you might want to say, okay, I'm circling this contact. We're going to lunch, and I'll make it a tradition. We're going to do a lunch, and maybe you can include a couple of other people. Maybe there's a title agent. Maybe there's a lender. Maybe there's somebody else that, like, you can kind of come together and, like, celebrate, something and do something like that. Very, very powerful. Number one way to break bread is build relationships, is break bread, or, people say play golf or going on. So now the next thing is, if you're not going to do something like that, then pick up the phone and call these people on their birthday. They might not answer, but they'll see it come through eventually as a missed call, or you're going to leave that voice message, or do what I half the time, I don't even leave a voice message. What I'll do is I'll end the call when it goes, and then I'll send them a voice text, or a voice memo. So they hear but it goes into text messages. Because anything like me, I don't check my voice messages as much as I check my text messages. Okay. So something, side note there. Also a gift. I was in a mortgage, a lender, and he was a top lender and does a ton of business, and real estate agents absolutely love him. And here's part of the reason why. He told me he hired this coach, paid him $5,000 a month. And this was 8 years ago. All right. And here's what he said. He goes, Curtis, my coach tasked me in my first week, and some of this training came from him, because he said, I had to categorize, and I had to put my top real estate agents in a category. And then I had to basically Facebook stalk them. I had to go back into their likes and their interests and see a little bit more about them. So you can go to the about page in Facebook and scroll down and see what restaurants do they like. Oh, this person's a huge New England Patriots fan, or this person loves Tom Brady and now he's on the Buccaneers. Like, there's things that you can do where you're going to take these notes on these people. And then these, because see, his business came from influencers with real estate agents. So most of his business was purchase business. And so he categorized, and then he went to eBay and he bought like a Tom Brady framed picture when he was like in high school or college or something. And it was like $5.
Awesome. That is so awesome.
And then he bought this was back when he was on the Patriots. And then he bought a foam finger for like $5 on eBay. And it said New England Patriots #1. He put those two gifts together and mailed it. Cost him a whopping like $20 between shipping, the gifts, everything. But here's what he was told to do. He actually had to buy all of the gifts that month for the following year.
Oh, wow.
So he had them ready to go. They were boxed up. He had no excuse. And then he put them in the mail. So I'm sharing this with you because there are people in your database you can't afford to have somebody else get in between the two of you guys. Like that investor you're talking about, and then gifts, greeting cards. I feel that greeting cards is, #1, is definitely a lost art. And when you show up in a mailbox, it's a lot different than showing up in an inbox. And I say inbox on social media, inbox being your email inbox. People don't get personal snail mail. So when you do it, it obviously separates you. Text messages, social media, and email. So now you're going to put your plan together. Here's my top 20. I'm going to make sure that these 15 I'm going to do lunch with. Maybe there's 5 of them that you don't really want to have lunch with, but you want to make sure that you stay in touch. Give them a quick phone call. Send them a gift in the mail or something. A greeting card or something. So you're going to pick and choose and put your plan together. And then, so here's level 2. Maybe level 2, you say, you know what? These are my past clients, referring customers. I want to make sure that they're going to get my emails. I want to make sure I'm sending them market updates, stuff like that. Maybe your top tier, you're spending a little different amount of energy to make sure that they know you care. Birthdays, home anniversaries. Maybe you're not going to schedule in-person meetings with them over the course of the year. You might see them at parties from time to time. You might see them, at different functions, but this is something that might be an opportunity to use slide dial. Slide dial goes directly to their voice message.
Right.
And that you can leave a message. So the technology behind it is actually plays 2 phone calls pretty much simultaneously, like split seconds. And if the first one lands, it hangs up. The second one goes directly to their voice message. You can leave a message and it will oftentimes show a missed call from you. And that way they can hear you, they can hear your voice. So you might want to do something like that. A greeting card, definitely make sure you get those in the mail. Whether you use Walmart, whether you use Walgreens, or you use my service.
AM cards.
That's what I'm saying. Whether you use Walmart, Walgreens, or you use AM cards, use my service. Obviously, I'm biased. We built all of this technology out to be able to make it affordable. And behind me, you see my printers and all kinds of stuffing machines and all stuff. So came over on this side because it was a little quieter in the afternoon. We run all the production in the morning. And so this is level 2. Now, level 3, your Facebook friends, farming, neighborhoods, FSBOs, expireds, I would venture to say text messages if you have their phone number, social media. However, there's different things you can do on social media to even make yourself stand out too.
Right.
Commenting or just liking a post or posting on their wall gets lost. Okay. Like I ran a little test this past year. I took my birthday off of Facebook. I normally get 600 to 700 messages every year. This year, I got probably 15 to 20. And the reason is because people rely on Facebook so much. And that's why I would say, start taking birthdays off of Facebook and putting them in your CRM. Because if Facebook went away or Facebook went down or something happened, how much are you relying on that for your connection with your database, so to speak, your sphere of influence? So I highly recommend that you take that and put that in your CRM. Maybe you put it in an app called Occasions, which I have downloaded. Occasions, 99 cents. However, if you use a CRM,
what is the app again?
It's an app called Occasions.
Occasions.
Yeah. And what I like about that is like maybe somebody, you see on Facebook that their grandfather passes away.
Yeah.
You can log it in Occasions and make sure that you reach out to them a year later.
Wow.
Or send them a card, reach out to them, say, I think it's around this time that your grandfather passed away. I just want to, let you know that I was thinking about you and your family. Whoa, nobody thinks about that. And I recommend doing it the day before because sometimes people post it and they say, well, I can't believe it's already been a year. Like then if you do it the day before, say, if I remember correctly, tomorrow is 1 year and just want to let you know I was thinking about you and your family. Whoa, people are like shocked. Right. And I not necessarily do it year 2, 3, 4, 5. Like it gets a little weird. Like, that first year is always tough. Every year is tough. However, acknowledging and recognizing depends on how close you are with that person. But also another thing to think about is the first holiday season. Anybody that loses a loved one, the first holiday season is really, really hard. And so it might be something you want to log into your Occasions app or something like that to reach out to people or send them a card, just to let them know that you're thinking about them. Goes a real long way. I'm telling you. So now let's talk about level 3 for a second, maybe market updates. This could be somebody from farming your neighborhood, like a just sold, just listed.
So, Curtis, we do have someone that has asked a question. Jacqueline has asked, does your system keep track of birthdays and anniversaries? What is the difference between you and send out cards? Is it a month to month?
Yeah, so you absolutely can have birthdays and anniversaries be able to log in there. You can send you text message and email reminders, and you could even schedule the birthday card to go out 5 days before their birthday. Or I have some people put 5-year campaigns together and have birthdays, make sure they go out for the next 5 years, X amount of days before their birthday. They set it and forget it and it's done. So yes, that is all possible. You can do pay as you go. We also have a membership program that saves over 50% off the greeting cards. So I'll go over that in a little bit, but amcards.com, AM for appreciation marketing. And I'll go over that in a second. But so now like I said, there's never enough time to do everything. There's always enough time to do what's most important. Your database is important to you. Building a career in real estate is important to you. I highly recommend that you take a few hours and audit your database and split them up, and then make a plan for the people in your database. At the very least, level 1 and level 2. At the very least, level 1 and level 2. If you don't do level 3, and you only send Facebook messages, and you send a private message on Facebook, or if you have their cell phone number, you send them a text message or a voice message or something like that, it already makes you stand out. And you can do that literally 5 minutes a day. It doesn't take that long to do that. Now, the next thing is schedule. So you did your audit, you broke them apart. Now you're planned it out and said, okay, here's my 20 people I'm going to go to lunch with. They're going to also get a greeting card. Here are the people that I have in my database over here that I'm going to make sure that I don't forget these important dates. And now I'm going to schedule it and try to put as much automation around it as possible. So what CRM are you using? Like for instance, we work with a lot of people from Follow Up Boss, for instance. Follow Up Boss is a wonderful CRM, and you can put tags in there. And I know that whatever CRM you're using, you can tag people, you can put people in different groups, set reminders for you. We connect with Zapier as well. So if you want to zap cards, a lot of different opportunities to be able to do that, or internally inside of our system. And I'll show you what that looks like. Occasions app I mentioned, 99 cents, I think one time, maybe it went up a little bit. Back when I downloaded it, it was 99 cents one time, not a monthly fee. And you can log different things. What's great about it is it gives you push notifications X amount of days before. So you can say, I want a notification 20 days before, 10 days before, you know, the day of, give me chances to make sure that I can be ahead of it and I don't forget. So it's just something like that. And then of course, amcards.com. Now that we did that and you put the plan together and you're going to schedule it, put the plan, like there's so many different opportunities to even just set yourself reminders. However, what I love about AM Cards, and I'll share, you know what, I'm going to go into AM Cards right now and just show you something real quick, because here's what I did. Janki, before I hopped on here, I went onto Facebook and I saw that your birthday is July 24th. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I want to show you this because I put a group in my contacts called right here, level 1. Okay. Now there's no contacts in here right now, but I just want to show you the possibility. This could be a group that says closings. It could be a group that says, you know, birthdays or whatever it is. For this one, I put level 1. So you could build out a multi-touch campaign over the next year where they get a holiday card, they get a birthday card, they get a checking in card, stuff like that. So now what I can do is I can go into my contacts, type in your name, find you, and say, okay, great, watch this. I'm just going to add you to the group called level 1 and hit save. That's it. Now, what happened is this card is going to automatically get scheduled to go out. You know, so now I have a card that's going to you that's already scheduled for next year, 6 days before your birthday. Now, if I put 100 contacts in there, it'd be done. Now, I put you in level 1, you're an influencer. You have a group of thousands of people who know you around the country. You're on stages, you're speaking, you have powerful Facebook groups. You talk about AM Cards positively. I'm going to say, I want to make sure that you get a birthday card from me. Well, here's the birthday card that's automatically scheduled for next year. You're going to receive it. Happy birthday.
I saw my birthday card. Wow.
You saw your birthday card, but now you're going to forget and it's going to show up in your mail.
Right. And this is what I love about AM Cards, guys, because you could schedule it, or you could just say, hey, I want it to be sent 2 months from today.
Right.
And it automatically goes out. 2 months later, you probably forgot about it. And guess what? A client is calling you saying, hey, received your card. You're like, oh yeah, okay. You know, I remember. You don't remember, but you're actually just saying that to them. But you then remember that, oh yes, I did do it a few months ago, you know? So it's so awesome because it's all automated. That's what I love about this system.
And I spoke in Nashville about a month ago now. There's 120 real estate brokers and they influence thousands of agents. And there was a broker in the room and she signed up for our membership for $39 a month. When somebody signs up for a membership, I have it automated where they get a thank you card right away. They also get a birthday card automatically sent out 5 or 6 days before their birthday. 6 months later, I thank them in advance for always thinking about us when it comes to cards. I use the same language for you. And I just say from the bottom of my heart, referrals mean the world to us. And I want to say thank you. A year later, I say, can't believe it's already been a year since you've been working with AM Cards. We love you. Thank you. And so there's a few different things that we send out to them. Now for you, for this birthday, for level 1, I put a $2 bill. So we have a real $2 bill as a gift. And it says when a $2 bill is gifted, it's to be carried by the recipient. It's been known to bring prosperity and financial abundance. And then here's the inside. The first name is automatically populated. Happy birthday. May this upcoming year be the best yet. Your health, happiness, and prosperity beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you for being you. You're a blessing. I appreciate you, Curtis. My own signature on the inside, and then my branding on the back, and that's scheduled to go out. So there's now obviously there's lots of different opportunities to be able to send cards. If I go into my templates, I'll give you a couple of examples. These might be card-worthy life events. I sent this to my son's teacher, okay, after his first day of school. Wow. With a box of gourmet fudge brownies. She was taking pictures of all the kids and texting the parents and stuff, how they were doing the first day back, you know. And so I wrote a nice message. We hand signed this one, but we put the signatures in there. So they did that. Now, my son lost his first front tooth the other day. All right. So I put together this. Congratulations, Blake. And then there's his inside. He lost his first front tooth. And I sent it from the Tooth Fairy. Right?
Wow.
So you do something like this, one of your friends, and I've done this to a lot of friends who their kids have lost teeth, and they'll text, was that you that sent that card? And I was like, yeah, that was me. That was really cool, you know? So you do this kind of stuff for the people in your database. This is what I'm talking about: time blocking, appreciation, and gratitude marketing. So when you time block, so creating the automation, super powerful. Now I want to talk about something that could unlock so many doors for you. It's unbelievable. It's unlocked so many doors for me over the years. Have gotten me on stages all over the country, actually all over the world doing this. I've been on TV stations. Like I went to Australia for 6 months. And within the first couple of weeks I was there, I was getting invited on the equivalent of Good Morning America.
Love it.
Because I was dropping cards to different people I was meeting and thanking them and stuff like that. People thought it was so powerful. They did a whole segment on young entrepreneurs and living in, it was cool. And so I share that with you because it can open so many doors for you. And I talk about opening doors and closing business. You're not doing it because you're trying to close business. You're doing it from the kindness of your heart. And as a result, people reciprocate. People want to do business with people like yourself, because you're doing this stuff. So when I say time block, here's what I mean. When you see on Facebook or Instagram that somebody had a baby, grab that picture, okay? Or do what I do and screenshot it and just email it to yourself and don't open it. Because I do this once a week. I time block 30 minutes to an hour a week, and then I go in and I send out those cards. Set an appointment with yourself. Block off the time. 30 minutes a week is what I'm asking for, and put appreciation marketing. But if you don't have a plan to show up at that appointment with yourself, something else is going to fill that gap, of course. So you open up your email, you look at the pictures you sent yourself, and you start plucking off those cards one by one, sending out these cards. So maybe somebody had a baby or a grandbaby. Somebody just ran a marathon in support of a family member or a friend. And that means how much training goes into that. That's a big deal. They probably don't have anything in print. Put it on a card and send it to them. Extremely powerful. Maybe somebody's dog passes away. Okay, when somebody's dog passes, that's a family member. And I'll share with you this card that I sent because it made it into a picture frame on top of a mantle in a house. Okay, one of my friends. Thank you for an amazing life, Mom and Dad. Put the Rainbow Bridge poem on the inside. And here's my message that I wrote. I said, where do I begin? Thank you for being my best friend. Thank you for always finding time to play with me. And thank you for giving me scratches. I'm still here to listen to all your ideas, sorrows, and happy times. I'm still here for you. The best mommy and daddy a four-legged friend could have. And I signed it from the dog.
No.
And so she called me bawling her eyes out. Husband's in the background, bawling his eyes out, thanking me for the card. And so these are the types of things that mean a lot to people. And even if you don't do it instantly, they say there's never too late to appreciate.
Exactly. It's
never too late to appreciate. Maybe a week later, a month later, a year later, put the card in the mail, let people know what's on your heart. So these are types of things. So when you time block it, have a plan to show up. And I'm talking about this because these are not automations. This is not outsourcing your heart and telling your assistant to do something like this. This is something for you. And if you're a broker, if you're a team leader, do this for the agents that are in your office, making sure that you're doing these little things, because another broker starts doing it, they might start getting their attention even more, that they care. You want to make sure that you care. Want more referrals? Do a better job of rewarding the referrals that you're getting. And I'll wrap up with that, because a lot of people say, well, I would always love to have more referrals. Well, you want to reward the behavior, because behavior rewarded is behavior repeated. So you want more referrals? Do a better job of rewarding the referrals that you're getting right now. And so how do you do that? Well, it's not the commission check. It's not the signed contract. You know, and I recommend sending a box of gourmet fudge brownies. We have a bunch of gifts in our system. Brownies is one of them, and send it to their work if possible, because then when they get it at their work, they're sharing their brownies with people. They're talking about you. This is my realtor, an opportunity to be a little bit different, above and beyond. So
Amazing.
anything you want to talk about before I kind of go over the pricing real quick and just kind of show AM cards for those that are still on and would like to sign up?
You know, honestly, I am so appreciative of this because, and of you, Curtis, because of AM cards. I know my assistant is here too, my team, director of ops is here too, and they learn so much from this that they will go ahead and start implementing some systems right away. And when this is done, when you're learning at such a high level and you're implementing it, you're going to see the results. So I appreciate you for doing this, because this is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
No
welcome.
questions, but tell us a little bit about AM cards and what the cost is to sign
I want to
up.
go over it because we built our system for everybody to take advantage of it and test us out and see if they like it, because I don't believe in contracts and commitments. So basically what it is $39 a month, and it grants you wholesale pricing, which is over 50% off the greeting cards. Okay. So our cards are only $1.57 plus postage, just over $2 for a nice high-end custom greeting card
Yeah.
that you can send out. So this is 100-pound cover heavy cardstock, right? And then we also have that plus the postage. Now, every month that you're a member, we're going to put $40 of credits in your account. So you pay $39, we're going to bonus you and put $40 of credits in your account. So not only you get 50% off your cards, you get $40 in credits.
Yeah. Credits
roll over for a whole year. Okay, you have 12 months to use the credits in your account. And so if you don't use them all in a given month, you're going to end up using them during the holidays, or you might want to send out some brownies. So anywhere in the United States, you can send gifts. And so you can send gourmet fudge brownies, cookies, and you can use your credits for the card, the postage, and the gift. Now, if you want to send an Amazon gift card, you use your credit card on file, but the greeting card and the postage would come out of your credits. Now, you can do drip campaigns like I talked about. You can have multiple cards go out over the next year or 5 years if you wish. Personal branding, so you can brand the back of the cards however you want, coming from you and your company versus us. This is a white label type of an opportunity. And there's no contracts and there's no commitments. So we make it easy. You pay $39, we're going to put $40 in your account, and it goes like that. Now, I know that this is probably going to have a replay, and I wanted to do for the people that are live on here right now. For those of you guys that would like to sign up today, I'm going to actually give you $100. So I want everybody to give it a shot. So you pay $39 and we're going to put $100 in your account. So you'll have the 40 plus we'll put extra ones. I want to make it such a no-brainer for everybody to give it a shot. And then still there's no contracts, no commitment. So here's how you're going to go about doing it. You go to amcards.com and just click pricing. When you click on pricing, you're going to come to a page where it talks about your membership only. Now you can take a look at the business package if that makes sense to you. If you're spinning a lot of plates and you would like our professional services team to build out templates for you, put together drip campaigns for you, do your branding for the back of the cards for you, put QR codes together for you, that kind of stuff, we can do it all for you for $295 one-time investment. And then the $39 a month. We'll still put $100 in your account. If that's something that interests you, watch that video and buy the business membership. It's so worth it. It's about $1,000 of value for $295 one time. However, majority of you are probably going to go with the membership, which is great. sign up, and then you're going to want to email us at the bottom and say you took advantage of the LabCoatAgents offer. WeCare@amcards.com. If you're watching the replay, I can't guarantee that this promotion is still going on. Reach out to us and see if there's something that we can do for you. And that's it. You know, I wanted to wrap up with that. And
that's awesome. Thank you so much, Curtis. Jacqueline has a couple of questions. She says, you can also personalize them, correct, with our own photos?
Oh, absolutely. You can bring them, like, so here's a photo of somebody. I helped a baseball coach recruit this kid, and I said, put his picture on the front. And he ended up recruiting him. And so he put the pictures on the front. You know, so a lot of, and that's his signature right there. And he put another picture of him on the back, you know, the card and stuff like that. So yes, you can customize them with your own, whether you want just listed, just sold, all different types of opportunities. If you want to build them out in Canva or Photoshop, you can bring the whole image right over or build it inside of our system.
And can they be emailed?
No, there's nothing digital. This is all physical. We believe that we want to stay along the lines of more personal.
Exactly. Well, Curtis, it's always a pleasure having you here at LCA. So much knowledge, so much what I can do next. I've taken some great notes, so I'm going to start implementing immediately. Thank you so much for your time. Always, always, always appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you as well. And thank you, Jake, for always helping us out.
Always. Bye.